A major snowstorm is developing tonight and become more widespread as we get into tomorrow and tomorrow night across the Carolinas and surrounding states. We're here to go over all the new information that we have one last time for you, and I say that just because, well, by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, this will be a now thing, and to be completely real with you, this will be the last video I make because I'm going to be out here enjoying this. I live here in central South Carolina. This is a very rare event for us. We could get the most snow that we've seen since really in 16 years. So I'm just going to kind of detach from this a little bit, get out there and enjoy what I love, which is the snow. By far my most favorite kind of weather, snow. So, but we're here to give you all new information. Like I said, one last time, we'll go over a couple model runs. We'll go over the forecast snow totals from the National Weather Service, and then we'll wrap this video up. My name is Mitch. Good Friday evening. I hope you guys are doing awesome out there, and maybe just as excited as I am. If you're not, well, don't be a joy killer for all of us. Let us enjoy this. This rarely happens. And listen, this is going to be a fun event for many people. There's a lot of kids out there that have never seen this much snow, and they're going to get to see it, experience it, and hopefully it brings a lot of people a lot of joy. So subscribe if you haven't, like the video if you like it, and more importantly, if anybody has anything I can pray about or pray over, please put it in the comments below. Let's get rocking and rolling here. So let's go over the Euro that we have. Now, the 18Z is running right now, but we don't have enough of it to show you. And really, there's no point in getting super detailed on all these model runs. I mean, this is kind of a now thing. I mean, quite literally, it is snowing in eastern Tennessee and surrounding areas right now. So, I mean, we really can just fast blast through this, honestly. So, we start off late tonight, still snowing over eastern Tennessee, western North Carolina, and I have a feeling that it could be snowing in areas where blue is not being shown, which is snow. We start to get into tomorrow morning. Heavier snow, heavier returns begin to show up over the upstate of South Carolina, western North Carolina, still snowing like crazy in eastern Tennessee, and some heavier snow begins to develop across northern areas of Georgia. This is around 9, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Then you see some moisture bubbling up here in eastern areas of North Carolina, the PD of South Carolina. This is our coastal development enhancement getting going. And then the gap begins to fill in, and by the time we get into tomorrow afternoon, evening, we got a raging snowstorm across the Carolinas. It'll be very cold. The snow ratios will be very high, and we could have inch per hour rates falling out there across Carolinas, even areas of eastern Georgia and southeast Virginia. Those darker areas of blue, which continuously keep showing up over the southern Piedmont and the upstate of South Carolina. Listen, somebody's going to end up getting a foot in this area right here, but let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. But we continue to move forward, and the snow begins to kind of make its way and consolidate to the coastline late tomorrow night. And then we get into Sunday morning, and the system is wrapping up, and we're probably left over with a historic snowstorm for certain areas. I really think there's going to be certain locations out here that are going to overachieve as far as how much snow is forecast, but of course, there's going to be some areas that underachieve. That's how it is when it comes to really any kind of weather. We're going to get it at least a little wrong, right? So, what about the NAM? I'm going to show the NAM just because I think it's doing a better job showing more widespread moisture. I don't buy this extreme dry slot that's being shown on the HRRR model run. So I'm just going to show you guys the 3 km NAM here. So this is starting off around 1 a.m. As you can tell, it's snowing just where the Euro is showing it. But there's a little bit more moisture bubbling up here across areas of the eastern Midlands, southern Midlands, and just southeastern South Carolina. And could even get a wintry mix to start off. And this is sort of some coastal enhancement here. And this is about 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then there's kind of a dry period here in eastern North Carolina. And then our upper level low cranks up. And that is some heavy, heavy snow. And northeast Georgia, upstate of South Carolina, western areas of North Carolina, and eastern Tennessee. Watch how this swings through right over the southern Piedmont. At the same time, there is your coastal setting up. There's that dry slot showing up here. And it's not all the way dry. It's just an area of lighter snow in between the upper level low and the coastal low. But you got this upper level low portion of the snow. I mean, this is cranking out some snow 5, 6, 7 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, evening. And model guidance continuously keeps showing some sort of banding feature here in eastern Georgia that is going to knock somebody over a half a foot of snow, in my opinion. But we continue to move forward, and it shows this area of very enhanced snow. I'm telling you, somewhere between Lancaster down to northern sections of north of Columbia, the Greenville-Spartanburg area over to Charlotte, somewhere in that little area is going to get over 10 to 12 inches of snow, in my opinion. And here's the coastal cranking up. And as we move forward, we get into, late tomorrow night. This is 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and it's finally beginning to taper off. Still snowing heavily Sunday morning along the coastline, and then we're left over with just some northwest flow snow. Now let's go back here and see if we do have the 18Z run. And we do, but we only have a little bit of it. So maybe we'll go back and look at that here in a second. But as far as how much snow you could expect, let's update this because this was 210. Let's see if we have some new information, and we don't. And this is a now thing. They're going for a foot of snow in Gatlinburg. Greenville, about 6.5 inches of snow. There's already a little bit of snow on the ground here. Morristown, 6 inches. Kingsport, 4 inches. Tri-Cities areas at just several inches of snow. And then we knock it down into Georgia. This is where winter storm warnings have been extended further to the west. You now have winter storm warnings up in Atlanta. 1 to 2 inches of snow. And look how much you've really increased with this storm in eastern Georgia. I mean, you just dealt with, you still got sleet on the ground in certain areas. I mean, I didn't realize how much was still on the ground, like through northeast Georgia, upstate of South Carolina to North Carolina, how much kind of snow and sleet you still have on the ground. Sleet is very hard to melt. It's been a very cold week, but Athens, 5.5 inches. Gainesville, same thing. Blairsville, and Helen's probably going to get half a foot of snow. But you get into the far northeast corner of Georgia, someone's going to get 6 to 8 inches of snow. And even Macon calling for an inch now. 2 days ago, I didn't think this had a shot to make it to Macon. Now they're calling for an inch. And then you look at the low country of South Carolina. And let's see if they've updated these totals. I feel like they did, but they didn't show it here for whatever reason. This is how much snow they're forecasting here. Beaufort, about an inch now. Savannah, now about 1/2 inch to an inch. Statesboro, an inch. Moncks Corner, 2 to 5. Charleston, 1 to 3. Orangeburg, 3 to 5. Barnwell, 2 to 4. Allendale, probably around the same thing. Georgetown, 3 to 6. And then the National Weather Service out of Columbia, this is where I live. Going for 6 to 7 inches of snow. Winsboro, 8 inches. Lancaster, 7 inches. They keep increasing the forecast in this region. I really think Columbia points north up here, in Fairfield County, Chester County, York, Union, Newberry. I really think someone's going to overachieve in this region. You get over in the Chesterfield, Pageland, over 1/2 foot of snow is forecast. So, you get down to Edgefield, 5 to 6. It just keeps increasing everywhere. It's just wild stuff. It's hard to believe. And then the Greenville-Spartanburg area into the western areas of North Carolina. Tricky area because you're going to get shadowed a little bit in this area, meaning the direction the moisture is coming from, I think, is going to be blocked a bit. So we'll see what happens there. And this keeps showing up around Pickens. So, I think a lot of people will mention this. If you live in Pickens, there might be a chance that you kind of get less than, your brother, sister towns around you, stuff like that. But we'll see. Greenville, about 5 inches. Spartanburg, 6 to 7. Gaffney, 7 to 8. Charlotte going for 7 to 8 inches. I'm telling you, Charlotte, Rock Hill, Chester, Union, Gaffney, there could be an overachiever here. I think someone's going to get 10 to 12 inches of snow in this area. Remember last winter storm, I said that, and this is not to honk my, to toot my own horn here, but I said, hey, there's a chance you're going to get saved by a lot of sleet. And I really believed that was going to happen, and it did. We didn't get that catastrophic ice storm in this area at all that was forecast. So I now really think there's going to be an enhancement in this area. And then when you kind of get back over to the east, PD of South Carolina, southeast North Carolina, this is what you're looking at. Florence, I think, can be an overachiever, 5 to 8, but someone can get dry slotted here. We've already talked about that a lot, and you can tell it's finally made it out to the public because of the amount of questions that everybody's getting from this. So it's good that people are asking questions because that lets us know as weather enthusiasts or meteorologists that the public is aware of this dry slot, and it's going to absolutely break someone's heart, I think. Let's hope it doesn't. But 2 to 7 in Myrtle Beach, Wilmington 3 to 8, Jacksonville 5 to 11, and then we move it a little bit further up into eastern North Carolina, and this is going to be a big snowstorm, and I think this is where we can get a blizzard. I really think we're going to get movements from a winter storm warning to a blizzard warning in these areas. I really do. But this is how much snow is forecast in this region. We get into the Raleigh area, 4 to 9. This gets tricky here. It gets very tricky in these areas. That's why the range is so wide in all of these areas. You got 5 to 10. You got 4 to 9. You got 2 to 8. You're like, dude, how does that help me? Well, listen, the model guidance is not helping meteorologists and weather enthusiasts to figure it out for you. So it's hard for us to, get more detailed than what this shows to you guys, the public. But this is an area that someone can get a foot of snow. Then you might only get 3 inches. And then they have increased the forecast here in Southeast Virginia. Now they're going for over a half a foot in Norfolk, Franklin, Emporia. They bumped it up to 1 inch or 2 of snow in Richmond, Okemac, now 5 inches, Salisbury, 2.5 to 3 inches of snow. So this is trending a little bit better for you folks here. And then, just taking a look at, and it's already snowing in these areas now, but just a few inches of snow up here. Not a huge snow event, but because of how cold the snow's falling. And I mean, this is really going to happen tonight for you guys. But, just taking a look at the H-R model, another one's about to drop in about an hour or so. Close your eyes if you're in Raleigh. I don't think this is going to happen. But the H-R model absolutely just gyps Raleigh and surrounding areas. But Charlotte gives you a foot. Now in the Columbia, 7 to 10 inches of snow. Greenville, Spartanburg, 6 to 8. And I mean, it hits Myrtle Beach with 16 inches of snow and then gives you a lot up the North Carolina coastline. Heck, it gets Charleston over 8 inches of snow. And there's that banding feature back into Atlanta where it brings a couple inches of snow into this area. It's crazy how this thing has trended all the way to Atlanta. I never would have thought 3 or 4 days ago that Atlanta would end up with a winter storm warning. It's crazy. And then we look at the NAM 3KM model, and I think it's doing a really good job of highlighting this kind of jackpot zone right into here where someone's going to get 10, 12 inches of snow, probably more. I think someone is going to get a foot of snow in this area. And then you can see the coastal enhancement here where somebody's getting a foot, foot and a half, brings a foot of snow in Wilmington, half a foot in Myrtle Beach. And I mean, I'm telling you, I'm really surprised they haven't bumped up the forecast down in Charleston because this is turning into a more significant event into the low country, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, there's a little bit more of there was more of a cutoff to the east in Atlanta, so it doesn't give you guys as much. But this is the 12 km NAM. Drops 2 feet of snow here in eastern areas of North Carolina. It just fills in the gap a lot more. There's some weird little glitch areas here that can indicate some dry air, and one right here too. But let's just hope that there's none of this mess. That's for sure. Now I'm going to do this on the fly. Let's see if we got the latest Euro. Let's see what it's going to do here. Yep, drops it down. I mean, it's just not much different. We're just kind of at the range where model guidance really isn't doing it's just really not doing a whole lot different at this point. And I mean, there's not really a whole lot. And this is what I'm doing the last video. I really think the OOZ model runs is about the last thing to look at. And then at that point, you just look out your window. But this is the Euro, brings a period of very heavy snow through. And let's see how much snow it ended up dropping off this. And yeah, I mean, so it really indicates that dry slide though. Let's hope the Euro is wrong with this. You see how it has the dry area, coastal enhancement, kind of upper level low enhancement right here. You kind of have this dry slot right into here that even gets down and even affects like areas of Florence. But I think the Euro does do a great job of showing how there's 2 maximums of snow, and Charlotte consistently keeps showing up in the upper level low maximum here. But I mean, it drops half a foot of snow, 6, 7 inches of snow all the way down to Columbia. Compare this to the last run, and I mean, it doesn't look a whole lot different, honestly, except the Euro from earlier this afternoon definitely filled in the gap more. So you're pulling for more of that. So just to kind of wrap a couple things up with this video, I absolutely think there's going to be thunder snow tomorrow. Not going to say you heard it here first, but I think thunder snow will happen tomorrow with the upper level low. And this is to sum this up, this is where you could see lightning tomorrow on the H-R model run. And it shows up right over Charlotte and surrounding areas. And you can see it in eastern areas of North Carolina too as that coastal low pops up. And I'm going to kind of put this in motion. It just looks like a period where we can see some flashes of lightning. And, it shows it late Saturday night along this Carolina coastline. And I think it's very possible, but I would watch out for some thunder snow in the Piedmont of the Carolinas sometime tomorrow afternoon with insane snowfall rates. Whoever gets underneath one of these bands, guys, I'm telling you, is going to get absolutely rocked with over a foot of snow. So where's that going to happen? Nobody knows. As far as the wind gusts from the Euro, this is starting off tomorrow morning. You can already see winds gusting to around 25 miles per hour. But as we start to make our way into this is moving very slow. This is getting into Saturday night. Winds begin to crank up, and we start to get 35, 40 mile per hour wind gusts across areas of South Carolina, North Carolina, and you can see it's really whipping along the Outer Banks where we're starting to get, on this run, it's trying to show over 60, 70 mile per hour winds. So blizzard is definitely, like I said, I think we're going to get a blizzard warning. This is forecast low temperatures for Sunday morning. Everything's going to be froze up. Bitterly cold temperatures right behind it. And then if snow remains on the ground for the most part Sunday, which I don't think we're going to get a ton of melting. The only thing that's going to really melt is we're going to have bright sunshine Sunday. But, going for the low teens and single digits for certain areas across the Carolinas. And I could see some certain areas getting below zero. So very cold temperatures. And just to wrap this up, because I did forget to pull it up on the fly here. Well, I'm pulling it up on the fly because I forgot to pull it up. This is the latest watches, warnings, and advisories. See if anything's changed. Yeah, there's a lot of overlapping stuff. This is definitely like there's a lot going on here. So I'm going to click on a couple areas. First off, we do have winter weather advisories now extending all the way back into Alabama. In fact, let's do this because this is way too confusing. Goodness gracious. Let's look at this. Yeah, so winter weather advisories extending now into several counties in eastern Alabama. Pretty wild, guys. And, Atlanta has winter storm warnings now. Down into Savannah, winter weather advisories. And these extend about halfway down the Georgia coastline. Entire state of South Carolina, winter storm warnings. And this is into North Carolina and Virginia. Now, I do think there's going to be blizzard warnings issued tomorrow on the fly. Normally, they're not going to pull the blizzard warning just like that. If you remember along in Louisiana last year, they started it off with winter storm warnings. But then, kind of about a quarter to halfway through the storm, they introduced blizzard warnings. And I can see that happening tomorrow across the Carolinas, folks, and in even southeastern areas of Virginia. So be aware of that. Don't let it catch you by surprise. But that's all I got. Guys, I'm stoked. I'm so excited about this storm. And listen, I haven't been able to, I'm about 2.5 days behind on comments. And when it's this busy, you can't come back from that. There's no coming back from it when it gets this busy. And so I'm going to go back and just look at everything and see who, sent super thanks and stuff like that. And I'll try to skim through some things, but, I'm never going to be able to catch up with it. It's getting to the point where when it gets like this, there's just no way to keep up. And I even took the day off today to try to catch up with them. But I had so much to do outside of that I was actually never able to even start. So I just want to thank y'all for the encouragement, all the kind and beautiful things you said, just saying, hey, we're so happy for you. Thank you for the stuff. Just complimenting the channel, myself, and just like I said in the live earlier, which by the way was a huge success, being what it was. It felt like I had an army beside me to my left and my right, just yanking at the atmosphere, saying, "Hey, you're gonna squeeze out this snowstorm or else." And I feel like we bullied the atmosphere enough to make this happen. So it just doesn't even feel real. Whatsoever. It doesn't feel real at all. But, I did want to just say a couple things here. Let's, I've had a couple people that has sent me stuff on no donations and stuff. And I just want to say thanks to a couple people. DeTanya, thank you for sending what you sent. And I really want to thank Andrew Shaw. Thank you, buddy. You've went above and beyond, so I really appreciate you, buddy. And I say this because when y'all send stuff on Cash App, all I can do is heart it, and it tears my nerves up that I cannot be more personal and reach out to you in email. You know, on PayPal, it's a little different. I have an opportunity to email you guys most of the time, but you know, thanks for all the super chats and the live earlier that I did and that I missed. So thanks for everything. Hey, tune into Gerald's channel and here in about an hour and a half. I'm going to jump on there and I'm going to go live with him and just talk a little bit. And then I'm going to get off to bed because I need to get some sleep before we pull, you know, pretty much just I'm probably going to end up staying up 18, 24 hours straight following this storm after tonight. So have a wonderful night. Let's reel it in. Enjoy it. If you're not a big snow fan, just quit pouting and just make the most out of it, guys. I know these things are dangerous. They're not safe, but I mean, if we're being real, I think everybody has something that they're interested in, that they're even passionate about, that they enjoy, that might be considered dangerous to someone else. And at the end of the day, we can't control if there's a snowstorm coming or not. So it's always wild seeing comments like that. I'm like, dude, what? You know? But, you know, some people want you to be more sensitive and all that. But anyways, guys, love you. Appreciate you. It's been a wild ride. And it's time to stop talking about this and enjoy it. So have a good night. We'll talk again soon.